Hi everyone, this is a neuron model I built to show the structure and functions of a neuron. Neurons are specialized cells in the nervous system that transmit electrical signals and communicate with other cells. In this video, I'll explain how each part of the neuron works and how electrical signals are transmitted through the neuron. We'll also talk about how neurons communicate with each other through synaptic transmission. Let's take a closer look. These are the dendrites. They branch out from the soma like tree limbs. Their job is to receive incoming electrical signals from other neurons, or stimuli from receptor cells. This is the soma, or the cell body. It's the main part of the neuron. It processes the signals received from the dendrites. If the combined signals are strong enough, the soma sends an action potential down the axon hillock. Inside the soma is the nucleus, which controls the neuron's functions and keeps it working properly. Here is the nucleus located inside the soma. It is responsible for the metabolism of the cell and controls everything. The nucleus also contains the cell's DNA and manages the neuron's activities. Next, we have the axon hillock. This is a very important part because it's where the electrical signals, called action potentials, are initiated. It connects the soma to the axon. This long structure is the axon. The axon carries the action potential away from the axon hillock, past the axon terminals toward the synaptic knobs. The axon is covered by myelin sheaths. These are formed by Schwann cells in the PNS, the peripheral nervous system, that insulates the axon and helps the signal travel faster. These gaps are called the nodes of Ranvier. They're important because they allow the electrical signals to jump from one node to the next, speeding up the process. This is called saltatory conduction. At the end of the axon, we have synaptic knobs. They are rounded tips at the end of the axon terminals. These synaptic knobs release chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. At the end of the synaptic knob, the signal can't jump directly to the next cell. Instead, it must cross at the synapse, which is the connection between two neurons. That's where the electrical signal is converted into a chemical signal. Let's look at how this process happens. To fully understand how neurons exchange information, you must know that there is a presynaptic cell, the one sending the information, and a postsynaptic cell, the one receiving. When the action potential travels down the axon, it reaches the synaptic knob. At the synaptic knob, the vesicles containing neurotransmitters, also known as chemical messengers, are released. These neurotransmitters are released into the synaptic cleft, a small gap between two neurons. In the cleft, the neurotransmitters diffuse and bind to specific receptors on the receiving or postsynaptic cell. This process is like a lock-key system. Only the right neurotransmitter can fit into the receptor, just like a key fits a specific lock. When the neurotransmitter binds to its receptor, it triggers changes in the postsynaptic cell, such as starting a new action potential. This process is how neurons communicate and pass along information. So now a quick recap. The dendrites receive the signals. The soma integrates them. The axon hillock starts the action potential. The axon carries the signal. The myelin sheaths and nodes of Ranvier speed it up. And the synaptic knobs release the neurotransmitters across the synapse to communicate with the next cell. Thank you for watching my explanation on this amazing neuron model. I hope you enjoyed learning about how neurons